There's a man somewhere right now who thinks he's in a solid relationship. His girlfriend comes home every night. She kisses him. She asks about his day. She laughs at his jokes. She tells him she loves him. And she means it, or at least part of her does. The other part of her has been somewhere else for months, and he has absolutely no idea. He's not blind. She's just that good. Today I'm going to show you exactly how good. I'm Valerie, sex therapist, and I'm done staying quiet about this. So here's how it actually works. Okay? So the first thing women use is emotional misdirection. And this one is so effective because it turns your instincts against you. Here's what most men don't know about how guilt works in a woman's body. When a woman who is emotionally invested in her relationship starts cheating, the guilt is immediate. And it's physical. And her instinct, almost automatic, is to neutralize it, to overcompensate, to flood the relationship with warmth so that neither you nor she has to sit with the discomfort of what she's doing. So suddenly she's cooking your favorite meal, texting you more, finding reasons to be affectionate, saying, "I love you more than usual," and it feels incredible. You think the relationship has turned a corner. You relax. You stop asking questions, and that's exactly what she needed you to do. You see, men associate affection with honesty. When she's warm, you assume everything is fine. She knows that, and she uses it. The extra sweetness is not reconnection, it's misdirection. She's giving you emotional reassurance right before you would have had a reason to doubt her. Now here's the tell. Pay attention to the timing. A genuine affection doesn't have a trigger. It doesn't suddenly appear after a period of distance or right after a night she can't fully account for. When the warmth arrives on a schedule, when it spikes after she's been unavailable, or after an argument, or right after a suspicious stretch, that's not romance, that's management. She's resetting your emotional state before it has time to ask the right question. Alright, the second thing is what I call the best friend shield. And this one is a slow build, which is what makes it so dangerous. When a woman starts getting close to another man, she knows she can't hide him completely. So instead, she normalizes him early. She drops his name casually. "Oh, that's just Marcus from work. He's like a brother to me. You're so paranoid, babe. He has a girlfriend." And each time she mentions him in a harmless context, she's training you to stop questioning his presence. She's making him safe in your mind before he becomes a threat in her life. Now, here's what's happening inside her when this starts. Often the man starts as a genuine friend. She's not lying about that. But something shifts. He starts listening in a way that feels different. He asks about her. He remembers things. He doesn't make her feel like she's too much. And she starts sharing things with him that used to stay between the two of you. Her real frustrations, her fears, the things she stopped telling you because it never felt like you heard them anyway. That emotional intimacy is the bridge. And once it's been crossed, the physical part is almost a formality. You see, women rarely cheat with strangers. And they cheat with someone who already feels safe. Someone whose presence in her life already has an explanation. By the time anything physical happens, she's been laying the groundwork for months. The friendship was real. The boundary shift was deliberate. So here's what to watch for. Watch the energy, not the title. She can call him a friend, a colleague, a mentor. Those words mean nothing if the energy between them says otherwise. Watch for her becoming protective of that relationship. Defensive when you ask questions. Going out of her way to explain why they talk as much as they do. And watch for the comparisons, subtle ones, where he suddenly appears as a reference point for what she wishes you were. Those aren't slips, those are emotional tells. Now, the third trick is routine manipulation. Irash. And this is where women get genuinely sophisticated. She knows that men trust consistency. When her routine looks normal, you stop watching. So she hides the cheating inside her habits, not outside them. She doesn't suddenly start staying out all night or changing her schedule in ways you'd notice. That would be obvious. Instead, she keeps everything on the surface identical and quietly repurposes the time within it. The gym class that now runs 40 minutes longer. The work project that requires her to stay late on Tuesdays. The girls' night that's been on the calendar for 3 months. None of these things look new. They all have explanations that already exist in her life. She just fills them differently. Alright? And here's the specific thing that makes this so hard to catch. You won't feel a sudden shift because there isn't one. What you'll feel is a slow, quiet wrongness that you can't locate. Something is off, but nothing looks wrong. She's still posting on social media, still coming home to you, still doing a couple things, but the micro details start not adding up. She mentions a restaurant she can't name when you ask. She says she left work late, but a coworker's post tells a different story. She pauses for just a fraction of a second too long before answering something simple. Cheating women know that suspicion lives in change, so they eliminate visible change entirely. And what's left is that feeling in your gut that something has shifted without any obvious evidence to point to. Trust that feeling, because when a woman is hiding her chaos inside the familiar, the surface will look perfect. And perfect, in this context, is the tell. Now, the fourth one. And this is the one that does the most damage. The guilt flip. At some point, you're going to sense something. Maybe her story doesn't quite line up. Maybe she's been guarded with her phone. Maybe you just feel a distance that wasn't there before. And right before you can land the question, before you can say what you actually want to say, she flips it onto you. Suddenly, you're the one acting different. You're the one who's been distant. You're the one she's worried about. And if she's really good at this, she'll go soft instead of aggressive. She won't snap. She'll get quiet and vulnerable. She'll say something like, "I just feel like you don't love me anymore." Or, "I don't know. Something feels off between us and I think it's you." Now everything in you wants to fix that. Because she sounds hurt. Maybe because she sounds like the one who's been let down. And instead of asking the question you had, you're suddenly explaining yourself, reassuring her, apologizing for a distance she created. That's the move. She takes your suspicion and buries it under your guilt. You see, this works for 2 reasons. The first is that it genuinely puts you on the defensive. You spend your emotional energy on yourself instead of on her. The second is that it helps her internally. If she can convince herself that you've been neglecting her, that the relationship was already broken, that he simply stepped into a space you left empty, she doesn't have to see herself as the villain. She's rewritten the story so that the cheating makes sense, even to herself. So when she suddenly starts making you feel like the untrustworthy one, don't move from that question. The guilt flip only works if you let it redirect you. Notice the pattern. The accusation always comes right when your instincts were about to ask something real. Now I want to pause here for a second, because what I can share on this platform only goes so far. The explicit detail, what men can actually do when they see these patterns, how to have the conversation that doesn't get flipped, what specifically to look for in the moments that matter. I can't finish that here, so it lives in Valerie Uncensored, my private newsletter, unfiltered, specific, no platform restrictions, the real conversation. Link is in the description. That's where you go for the rest of it. Alright, back to it. So, the 5th trick is social media sleight of hand. And in the modern world, this one is where most of the activity actually lives. Here's the thing about how a woman manages her online presence when she's hiding something. She doesn't go quiet. She doesn't disappear. That would be suspicious. Instead, she performs. She makes her public profile look more loyal than ever. She posts you. She captions couple photos with warmth. She tags you in things. She makes the relationship visible, deliberately, strategically, because she knows that public loyalty buys her private freedom. You see the post and you relax. Everyone sees the post and they relax. The performance is the cover. Meanwhile, the actual activity is happening in spaces designed specifically to leave no trace. Private stories you're not in, disappearing messages on Instagram or Snapchat, a separate account, not the business page, the backup, the spam account she never mentioned, Telegram because it's for work. And she's not sloppy about it. She leaves her main phone relatively clean. She might even hand it to you casually once in a while. Scroll through her feed in front of you. Controlled transparency. She shows you just enough to make you feel like there's nothing to see. Now, what gives her away is not the big things. It's the small shifts in behavior around the phone itself. She used to scroll freely in front of you, and now the screen tilts. She used to leave it on the counter, and now it goes everywhere she goes. She gets up to take a call in another room when she never used to. These aren't about privacy. They're about management. And there's a difference between a person protecting their privacy and a person protecting a secret. Also, watch for social media behavior that doesn't match the rest of her patterns. A sudden silence from someone who was always active. New consistent interaction from someone unfamiliar to you. Comments she responds to quickly and then stops acknowledging. The digital footprint is always there. She just counts on you not knowing how to read it. Okay? The sixth trick is the one that starts before anything physical ever happens. And it's the one that most people underestimate entirely. Emotional replacement. Most women cheat in their heads first. The physical affair is almost always the final step in a process that started months earlier. When she began sharing her inner world with someone else, it starts small. He listens in a way that makes her feel heard. He asks follow-up questions. He remembers what she told him last time. And slowly, gradually, without either of them necessarily intending it, as she starts bringing him the things she used to bring you, her real frustrations, her dreams, her fears, the version of herself she keeps most private. And here's what that does to you without you knowing it. Every time she gives him something that used to belong between the two of you, the emotional intimacy in your relationship quietly drains. She's still there. She's physically present, but she's not really there. You'll feel it before you can name it. Her laugh sounds slightly performed. Her affection feels generic. She listens to you, but she's not quite listening. She's somewhere else, even when she's right next to you. You see, emotional cheating is invisible. There's nothing to find. No texts that say what you think they'd say. No evidence. No smoking gun. Just a slow, steady withdrawal of her real self from your relationship. And once that withdrawal is complete, once she's already replaced you emotionally, the physical step doesn't feel like betrayal to her. In her mind, the relationship was already over. He just stepped into what was already empty. So if she's emotionally leaning on another man more than she's leaning on you, if the things she used to tell you are now going somewhere else, don't wait for the physical evidence. The emotional affair is the real one. The rest is just what follows. And the last one, the most dangerous one on this list, and the one that's hardest to argue with, the good girl persona. The woman who truly gets away with cheating is almost never the one who seems like she would. She's the one who has spent years building a reputation for loyalty. She's the one who talks openly about how much she hates cheaters. Who says I could never do that to someone? who posts quotes about honesty and self-respect and what a real relationship looks like, who is, by all appearances, the last person anyone would ever suspect, and that's the setup. By building her identity around being the loyal one, the honest one, the one who understands what it means to be a real partner, she constructs a psychological shield that protects her from suspicion before she's even done anything. You stop questioning her. She's earned nothing through transparency. She's simply conditioned you to believe she's incapable of it. And so she is, in a sense, invisible. Her friends don't suspect her. Her family doesn't suspect her. And you don't suspect her because she has told you exactly who she is and you believed her. Now here is what is actually happening inside that. The good girl persona isn't just about protecting her reputation. It's about protecting her ego. She doesn't want to see herself as the villain, so she doubles down on virtue. The louder she is about loyalty in public, the easier it is for her to justify what she's doing in private. She's not a cheater. She's someone who was pushed into an impossible situation. She's someone whose needs weren't being met. She's someone who loves deeply and was let down. The narrative is always waiting, and the persona she's built makes it easy to believe. So if you ever raise a concern and she weaponizes her reputation against you, how could you think that about me after everything I've said about cheaters? Hear that clearly. That's not innocence, that's armor. Loyalty is not proven by what she says about herself in public, and it's revealed by what she does in private when nobody's watching. Okay, let me pull this together. You see, women who cheat get away with it because they understand exactly what men trust: warmth, consistency, familiarity, reputation, and they build their cover from those materials. The affection that neutralizes your guilt, the friend who was normalized before he became a threat, the routine that looks identical but isn't, the guilt flip that buries your suspicion under your own doubt, the social media performance that performs loyalty publicly while hiding everything privately, the emotional withdrawal that happens so slowly you can't point to when it started, and the identity built so carefully around loyalty that questioning it feels like attacking a good person. None of these are random. They are patterns, and patterns, even once you know them, are readable. Now, knowing this doesn't mean living in suspicion. It means trusting what you actually feel. Because in almost every case, the man who was being deceived felt something before he had evidence. He dismissed it. He talked himself out of it. He trusted the warmth, the routine, the reputation, and by the time the evidence arrived, months of her story had already been written. Your instincts read patterns before your conscious mind can name them. Trust them. And if you want the specific, unfiltered version of what to do when you see these patterns, how to have the conversation, what to look for, what actually reveals the truth, that's in Valerie Uncensored. Link is in the description. I'll see you there.